And so to Sunday evening's game, and Parma coach Alberto Malassani spent most of the week walking around in a daze after his side were blown apart by Serie A's team of the moment, Inter, last week. No European action at least meant a week on the training field with his team. Lazio in fourth were clinical in their disposal of Torino last weekend, but midweek they lapsed into the mediocre for the Champions League match against Dynamo Kiev, a match in which they had to come from behind to take victory. 3 changes for Parma: out goes Serena, Valoli and Divao, in come Bogosian, Benarivo and Stanic. Eriksen's squad rotation system means, with Inzaghi still out, Boksic remains up front, and he will be partnered by the Chilean international Marcelo Salas. There's a starting place too for Almeida in the middle of the field, who is well impressed in the middle of the week. There's a starting place too there as well tonight for Diego Simeone. He didn't begin the match against Dynamo Kiev, a game in which they dominated for long spells before going behind to a Rebrov penalty and then coming back with 2 goals in 4 minutes. A big test for Parma this evening. How will they react after last week's beating? There's the coach, Sven-Göran Eriksson, been around in Italy now for some 15 years or so. The opening chance fell to Parma and a header for Hernan Crespo. Now, an early shock for Lazio fans. Nedved knew he was injured, and with blood coming from that leg wound, he was off immediately to be treated with stitches. Now, this wasn't a particularly pleasant challenge. Mihailovic's foul on Ortega bought him a yellow card. Then Alan Boksic finding his way through, the first of many times this evening. From the corner, Veron's volley inches wide as Lazio got a grip on the game. Crespo, the most dangerous for Parma. Now, Salas' challenge there on Benarivo needed looking at a good couple of times before it was realized that it was perfectly fair. Benarivo was to go off, not to return. He suffered a slight concussion, and as in all situations like this, all precautions were taken, and he was treated on the field for a good few minutes before he was able to be lifted onto the stretcher and carried out of play. But again, there you can see it was a 50-50 ball. Benarivo, well, had taken a good 20-yard run up to it. Salas maybe 4 or 5 yards, so he was virtually ran straight into a wall. Salas' shoulder. So Benarivo off then. Still, we were goalless midway through the first half. Plenty of chances, though, still being created. Boksic through, couldn't actually find a way to get a shot on goal. The deflected shot, though, came from Marcelo Salas. It was deflected by Bogosian, and it was an opening goal for Lazio. Their player just about deserved it, or their open player just about deserved it. Parma perhaps not quite deserving to go behind from an own goal, but they were under the cosh for most of the opening 40 minutes of the game. Another chance, Crespo on the back post. That was quickly followed by Boksic again, weaving away through on the edge of the area. Now, Almeida would find Boksic in space, but he wasn't quick enough. Marcelo Salas still under, getting a lot of criticism still about the apparent weight that he's carrying around. Half-time, very quiet in Parma. 1-0 down. Into the second half, Diego Fuser and Ortega with the overhead. Salas guilty of a bit of a miss there. Well controlled on the chest, but could have done better with the volley. And Stanic, well, he stuttered a little too long. The equaliser did come. The header from Amoruso off the bar. But Bogosian was the man that got the equaliser. Through a crowd of players once more. Good work, though, by Amoruso on the near post. It was saved off the line by Almeida, who's been having a good couple of weeks. And Bogosian in. Just wide now. What about this? If goals have to win games, everyone should be like that. What an absolutely stunning strike from Almeida. We'll repeat that possibly, not quite as often, as the Roberto Carlos goal for Brazil a couple of years ago, but you'll see it on and off for most of this season. Final few anxious seconds, but Parma couldn't find an equalising goal. It was to be a frustrating day again, once more for Malassani and his team. Good victory though for Lazio.